on the year. Daniel Jones has earned another year to be the Giants' starting quarterback. But if you're Brian Daboll and you were formerly the OC for the Buffalo Bills and you've had a Josh Allen, I'm wondering in the back of his head, is he wondering how much further he could go with a quarterback that was superhuman? How much further he could go with a quarterback that was above average? Daniel Jones, you earned your money. Congratulations. You deserve at least maybe $35 to $40 million for a year. No doubt about that. But should he be the Giants' future? Should the Giants be committed? How committed should they be? That's the question I have for you, and I have for you, Joy Taylor.
They should be slightly more committed than you are suggesting.
Okay.
Where is the superhuman quarterback store? Is there like a club you can subscribe to?
Got to have a bad record.
Usually Lincoln Riley's the owner of it.
Because there's only a few of those guys out there. And right now, they're all at home. They're going nowhere. So it can get very ugly for you very quickly if you like to play that game. Daniel Jones has done a really nice job this year. I think it's pretty surprising to all of us. I was actually surprised that they stuck with him this year. But Brian Daboll's done an amazing job with this team, and Daniel Jones is not the issue. I really don't like separating the passing touchdowns from the rushing touchdowns, particularly when it's a mobile quarterback, which Daniel Jones is. He's fifth in rushing yards per game, or for the season, for quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. He's in the top 5.
Yep, he is.
That matters. Maybe he's not throwing touchdowns at the rate that we would like to, but who is he throwing to? Which is my point with Daniel Jones. Of course, Brian Daboll would love to have Josh Allen. There's only one Josh Allen. There's literally like only one Josh Allen. There's not like comps around the league. These guys are on a different level. One Patrick Mahomes, one Joe Burrow, one Josh Allen, one Justin Herbert. There's not a factory just pumping these guys out. And there's a way to get them, and they're not going to be bad enough to do that. So is there a guy who's on the market who is that much significantly better than Daniel Jones? I don't think there is. And there's value to having a guy who knows your system, and you've had results with him there. They've got other issues. The biggest question that we've had all season long is, how are they doing this with this roster? They don't have a strong roster. They're 27th in receiving. They had obviously a great run game this year. Their offensive line is 24th in pass blocking. The defensive line, 20th in pass rush. Run defense is 28th. Fix the rest of your roster. And interestingly enough, this season, with a good coach, as we've seen with the Niners, and I would even argue with the Cowboys, if you have a good roster, you can still have success. You don't have to have a Josh Allen, a Patrick Mahomes, a Joe Burrow. Now, we'll see how those teams do in the postseason, but we certainly feel great about the 49ers right now. We feel good about Dallas's roster. They could be better, but to the point, my point is, Daniel Jones is not your issue. Focus on the rest of your roster. Get him on a team-friendly deal.
I guess my thought process, Dave, is this. You can either try to take the Niners approach, which is we will win with average to above average quarterback play, but we are going to have 5 to 6 dudes. Or you can take maybe the Chiefs' approach of this year, the Bills' approach of this year, the approach of we have 2 to 3 dudes and a quarterback, or 1 dude and a quarterback. I suggest, Dave, that it's easier to take the approach of having a dude at quarterback as opposed to trying to go find 5 or 6. But where do you stand with your commitment?
It is easier to do that if you can find that guy.
Right.
It's so much easier to say that than do it. The irony is that the Niners have been tripping all over themselves to get a dude at quarterback, and it's not working. Like, it's hard to do. That's through no fault of the Niners. It's hard to identify that guy and then develop him into a Josh Allen. It's just hard to do. And that's why the Giants are so fascinating to me. Yes, I think Daniel Jones has earned some degree of commitment, but this is a fascinating situation where I would like to think two sides can agree on a very fitting compromise. Like,
Agreed.
I don't think Daniel Jones should set the market. Not only he wasn't that good this year, he was very good, but he was not set the market good. And then you have to take the rest of his career into account as well, which hasn't been very good. So I think I would like to think at least that you can sit down at the table and say, you are deserving of an extension that will get you some real veteran quarterback money, and we are deserving of not having to tie our entire salary cap to you. It would be amazing if Daniel Jones could get I don't know, 2 or 3 years, let's say 2 years, 70 million, something like that. I mean, $35 million is a bargain by starting quarterback standards in the NFL right now. That would be a great number. Or even 3 years, 100 plus, something like that. Something that gives him long-term security and money, but doesn't ruin the Giants' cap so much that they can't surround him with a better roster. Because that's the real story here, as we've talked about before. Outside of Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, and a few defenders, like particularly on the offensive side of the ball, skill player-wise, you don't feel that good about the talent. So try to find a way to get him his money without completely ruining your cap. That would be my idea.
I think we're minimizing how good he played this year. Danny, he earned some dimes. Like, let's seriously though, because like if you think about it, like before the Giants this year, nobody talked about the Giants, the G-men.
Not at all.
The Giants, the Lakers, the Eagles, the Cowboys. Like football and sports are better. The Yankees when they're doing good. Just think about that, right? So Daboll was a great hire. I had him in Buffalo. I watched how he really changed Josh Allen. Mind you, Josh Allen came from Wyoming. You're not really learning much there, right? It's a small school, you know.
Laramie.
And like a lot of issues that he did have, he had a lot of talent. I seen Josh Allen, by the way, last week. I seen his mom. And I was talking to him about, I was so happy when we got him because how good he was. But when we got Daboll, it was even better for him because he had so much talent. How do you control this talent? Now in the NFL, you have players where they're so good and so talented, Josh Allen's, Patrick Mahomes, that they will do well anywhere. And you have other players that may get drafted high that are not as talented. And they might not do everything great, but they probably do one thing that's pretty good. That's the Danny Dimes. That's the Geno Smiths. You put them type of players in good situations, good football programs, good coaching. Look at Geno Smith. Started out rocky, right? Everybody wrote him off. Me, I wrote him off twice. He goes to a team, right, that can manage him, coach him well, put him in a great situation to win, to succeed, and look at him. Same thing with Danny Dimes. Everybody wrote him off. He goes to a team with a good coach. They don't have no players over there, really. Their best wide receiver, Kadarius Toney, they got Kansas City going to grab him. Brett Veach. You don't want him? I'll take him. So my thing is, now you take less money, because he'll get less money than he'll go to the market. The market, he'll probably get more, right? If anybody would even go out there and get it. Give him a 3-year deal, enough money, 70 million, 80 million, whatever it is, nice guarantee. Now you can add some pieces around him.
Here's my question, though. It's for you, Jory. It's for you, Shady. You've coached under Brian Daboll. You've been studying for a long time. If you're Brian Daboll, you know this. You might be the second best coach in football, but if you're Daboll, you probably assume you're the best coach in football. Coaches have egos, as they should. He might win Coach of the Year. I believe he should.
He should.
If you are a brilliant offensive mind, if you are a brilliant chef, if you are a brilliant driver, if you are a brilliant producer, you want the best of talent. The most important piece is what you want. If you are a brilliant chef, you want brilliant utensils. You want the sharpest knives, the best tools, the best ingredients. If you are an incredible director, if you're Spielberg, if you're Spike Lee, you want incredible talent because that's how you can maximize it. And if you are a brilliant coach, you want a phenomenal quarterback. So I'm just hard-pressed, Joy, to believe that Brian Daboll, who is one of the most brilliant minds in football, is going to look at Daniel Jones after he just finished looking at Josh Allen and say to himself, yeah, I'll commit to this for 3 years. Like, he's so good as a coach. Yes, I think that he might have a hard time committing to a quarterback who he knows doesn't match his skill level as a coach.
Yeah, I mean, we might want to marry Beyonce, but she's unavailable.
I think Jay-Z got her.
Yeah, locked up.
Last time I checked, yeah.
You can want these things. If you walk into the store, it's not there. We're not cooking eggs Benedict today. There's a shortage. There's none in the store.
Right.
So it sounds good to want that kind of talent. Of course, everybody wants that. But what is available on the market? What is the reality of the space? Who's replacing Daniel Jones this year? You're not going to be bad enough to get a draft pick next year. So where are you as an organization? If you're in a space where, okay, we overachieved this year, like tremendously. A bunch of flukes happened. You're Carolina, and they end up in the playoffs over Tampa Bay. All right, we still don't know what's going on at the quarterback position. We don't have to commit to anybody. That's not the case. They're going to be good every single year now. We know that. So who are you replacing Daniel Jones with? Are you going to get a draft pick? You're not going to happen. It's not going to happen in this draft.
Yeah, no.
So you don't know what's going to be going on in the next year's draft. So you have to put some sort of structure for your future together. And Daniel Jones is good enough to keep you in that space.
And like winning championships is not that easy. Of
course
it's
not.
hard to do.
You got two of them,
So even to get like a Super Bowl winning quarterback, like what does that mean? Because like you can get lucky and get a guy like Tom Brady, what's always going to happen. But you get a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who's a franchise guy, and he's only won one championship. I think also with Danny and this offense with Brian Daboll, he can run the ball. The guy has 700 yards.
And that's important for Daboll.
And this is the thing. Daboll, he loves running quarterbacks.
Yep.
Right? Or at least you can move enough.
Correct.
Because he has a lot of quarterback-driven plays.
Yep.
So I just feel like this is the best fit for Danny and also Daboll. When a coach like that, Daboll got a little cocky side to him in a good way. He know he good. Oh, okay. I'm a fix this player, and he did that. So I think if you can add